The Exploration Toolkit features a wide range of different systems that you can add to your game. You can choose to add one of them, two of them, or even all of them. They are all interchangeable and work with each other seamlessly. So let's have a look at a couple of these. So we'll start with picking up items. First of all, what you can do is walk up to a pick upable item, click on it, and you'll notice that when I hover my mouse over, it has a dynamic crosshair as well, so crosshairs can change depending on what you're looking at. You can then pick up an item, walk around with it, and then what we can do is hold E to basically preview where we want to place it down and let go to place the item. We can also place it under tables, but you'll see if I put it in the leg, it turns red, meaning that if I try to let go, it's just going to return to my hand. We can also pick up items like this, and you'll see it has a little compass here that we can look at. If I hold down E, you'll see I can then use the scroll wheel to actually rotate it around, so you can be very precise with where you place these objects. Something like this right here, instead of being able to place this object in the world anywhere we want, we can only place it on a specific place point. So if I open up this chest, you'll see if I pick up the gem and try and place it down, it doesn't work. But if I try and place it down inside of the chest here, it snaps to a certain location. And then when I let go, it places it and plays a little particle effect. So you might have, for example, a trophy that the player needs to place on a pressure pad, or some other thing in a puzzle game, or maybe in a horror game, you need to pick up a skull and put it on top of a skeleton in order to trigger some event. So you can set those up fairly easily, of course, without scripting. Everything I'm going to show you here is done with just drag and drop components. So we can have a little chessboard here where we can pick up items and place them down. You can also have the ability to inspect items. So for example, if I inspect this key right here, and you'll see the crosshair changes to a little magnifying glass, it's going to open up a little screen where we can click and drag to rotate around and use the scroll wheel to zoom in and out. So we can inspect all sorts of items here, and they each also have their corresponding sound effects. Now, there are also more complex interactions we can do. For example, if we inspect this matchbox here, you'll see that it has a little drawer, and if I hover over it, my mouse turns into a door, and if I click, it can then open up that drawer here. So you can have, for example, hidden little secrets or even puzzle boxes that you can interact with. With this book here, we can open it up. There might be an item in here that you can interact with to add to your inventory, for example. And inspectable notes as well. You don't have to use a different system. You can use the inspect system to have notes for the player to read, because by default, it might be a bit hard. The default player controller does come with a zoom feature with the middle mouse button, but it's probably better to just inspect your notes manually like so. And speaking of the player controller, you can move around with WASD, you can run with Shift, and you can hold down Control to crouch. So we also have levers that you can interact with. So you can turn things on and off, light switches, and switchboard switches as well. And these big levers right here. And these can, of course, connect up to events to open doors, to trigger certain things on the other side of the map, whatever you wish. Speaking of doors, we have quite an interesting system with doors. So for example, you can have a simple door that you can interact with to open and close. This door right here requires a key, so if I try and unlock it, it's going to play a lock sound, but if I pick up the key and interact with the door, it's going to unlock it, and then we can open it like so. This door over here is a bit different. Instead of requiring a key to unlock it, it requires a code, and the code for this one is 8267, so if I interact with the keypad, I can enter 8267 and click enter, and that is going to open the door. As well as rotating doors, you can also have moving doors. So this one right here, we just flick a lever and it is going to open the door like so. And we can of course close it as well. And these doors can also be implemented in things such as cupboards. So right here, we have doors for our cupboards and for our drawers as well, with sound effects to go along with them. And you can have little items or notes that the player can find inside the drawers and cupboards. This cupboard door down here requires a keypad to unlock it. So if we enter in the code 0000 and hit enter, that's going to open it up. And now we can interact with it to open it like so. Now, when it comes to locks, we have two main things. We have combination locks and keypads. So with the combination locks, you can simply interact with it and it will zoom in and you can flick through the different dials to get to the right number. The code for this one is going to be 8327. So if we go 8, 3, 2, and then 7, it's going to unlock it. We can then right click to exit out of the camera focus and we can then open up the crate. This one over here is basically showing us that we can also have a combination lock that we don't have to sort of disconnect the camera from the player in order to unlock. We can simply just look at it and interact with it in the world like this. Likewise, we then have keypads, which can be used to lock safes or doors or whatever you wish. This is a safe right here, which requires the code 1111, hit enter, and that will then open the safe, and you can of course put items or whatever you wish inside. So there are two types of keypads. A keypad with a display, so this keypad right here, if I enter in numbers, we can see they get displayed here, and if I enter in the wrong code, it's going to play an error sound. The correct code for this one is 41672, so 41672, hit enter, it plays a sound, and it then triggers a corresponding event to open a door or do whatever you wish. And this keypad right here, the one from the safe, is basically the exact same thing, but with no display. Now, in your games, you'll probably also want an inventory system. This inventory system is one of two that we feature in the toolkit, and it is the hotbar inventory. Essentially, down at the bottom of the screen, we have a number of different slots. You can then pick up items to add them to your inventory like so. And then using the scroll wheel, you can equip the items. So we can equip the trophy, the compass, as well as the torch. And with the torch, we can then press F to turn it on and off, so you can have interactable equipped items as well. As well as a hotbar inventory, we have the inventory window, which if we press tab, opens up like this. It's basically a simple window with slots on the left-hand side and a description of the item on the right. So if I pick up these items right here, you'll see that in my inventory, I have them listed out here. And if I hover over them, on the right-hand side, we have a little description. Now, this door over here requires the inventory, or requires a key to unlock. So I have my key right here. And if I unlock the door, that key is going to disappear from the inventory. You can also set it up so that the key stays in the inventory if you want it to unlock multiple doors, but in this case, we have it be removed. The compass bar allows you to set up navigation inside of your game. So you can see here, we can see where north is, where east is, etc., as well as having these navigation markers. These are essentially empty game objects with a component attached, which allows them to act as basically a quest marker. You might want to highlight a door or a person the character has to talk to, stuff like that. And these are very customizable. You can change the icon, the color, as well as the fade and scale distances. You can see that these sort of fade away and scale down the further away we get. And of course, they get displayed up on top of the compass bar as well. As well as a compass, we also have a minimap system. So this again is very customizable. You can have circle, square minimaps. You can change the design as much as you like. So with our player, we can see them walking around our level right here. And this also works with the navigation marker system. So as you can see on the minimap, we have a marker right here. If we go around our level, we'll hopefully find some other markers as well. Might be a door to exit the level right here, so the player can go up to that. And if you want a marker to only be displayed on the minimap, you can of course make it so it is not visible in the world, or you can make it so it's only visible on the compass bar. It's really customizable that way. Now, if you don't want the player's items to be managed by an inventory or physical items in the world, you can instead choose to use the player stats system, which essentially is a scriptable object that keeps track of a certain number. It has an associated icon, and it can trigger events when changed. So for example, here we have two things. We have a button and some keys. If I press the button, you'll see that we gain gems, and if I pick up the keys, those are going to give me a key stat. Now this door over here is set up to basically require one key to unlock it. So if I walk up to it and interact with it, it is going to subtract one of our keys, and we can then open it up. And the toolkit also has a full game demo of an escape room. So I'm not really going to look around here too much, but we have inspectable notes, cupboards, little puzzles on the walls, as well as a combination lock, safe, and some items to interact with and explore. So feel free to play the demo where you can actually try out this escape room demo, just showing you a little sample of what you can make with these drag and drop components. As I was able to make this entire escape room game without touching code once, simply using game objects and components. So from here, I would just recommend having a go at the demo where you can try out all of these systems here for yourself, as well as playing the escape room complete game here. So hopefully you enjoy it and decide to use it in your next game.